So your blackstone is one big iron skillet. All right, so you need to season it. Well, when you season, you want, and these are the instructions on a iron skillet, to season it, which means blacken it, get that crust built over it. You want a low smoke point oil, and they say one of the best. Now it's not cheap, but one of the best for seasoning low smoke point oil is flaxseed oil. Smells a little funny, but it's very low in flavor. But that's what I just did, a final, and I'm burning that off to season. You know, see, my grill's getting really good. Really good. It gets better and better as you use it, like an iron skillet. Just when you clean it with the water, make sure you dissipate all the water, and then do a final treatment with this, all on high. And one thing else I've noticed, if you scrape too much, especially early on, you use that really sharp scraper, it will take off your coating too. So you want to use this some, but it's best just lightly use it and then burn it off and then wipe it up. But this final step, yeah, flaxseed oil. Let me walk up to my truck. Psych, it's over there. Puppy. A restaurant called the Common Man here in New Hampshire. The guy from New Hampshire that signed the Declaration of Independence, this was his house. 1780. September, but it's already feels like October here. James Thornton. What's the best to see? Over around there?
Yeah, the oldest part of the building is all down there.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So cute. Is that James Thornton? I don't know. Oh, I can? Thank you.
Go on up. If you go up these stairs, you can go all the way back down and it'll come down the other side.
Okay, thank you so much. Declaration Suite, huh? This is the bar. I like it. Look at all this old original. How you doing? All right. original floors. This oak just gets harder over the years. So this is where you start the tour. The Freedom Trail. The Freedom Trail is a 2.5 mile trek around the historic sites in North Boston, downtown. When we got there, we were bummed to find out that the USS Constitution Museum and site were closed. Yeah. And we found out while we were there, it's actually still a naval base, technically. Boy, I would love to get that assignment, huh? Babysitting an old ship in a beautiful city. I think we should walk over there. It's so freaking clean, you know? The city, I mean, I've never seen a city so clean. And that's in the city, though. There's other areas, you know, when you get a little bit outside where normal people live. Like to live in here, this mainly all business, but because we were here looking for Kaylin, she was looking at possibly moving here because they're going to school online in New York.
All right.
So we looked at a couple different areas.
Get her out of the city and
Well, into a better city, but then she
Right,
could still take a tram into New York when they had to meet.
she had to get in there for something.
But they just decided to stay. But anyway, so we saw some regular areas. Housing down in when it's posh like this, like near the harbor and stuff, oh my God.
Oh yeah, when it's redone and all that. You gotta imagine what was here before that they ended up, you know, buying people out of it and redoing it.
Yeah, gentrification is not cheap. What we're doing here is trying to walk to the other side to try to get a good shot of that ship for you and us. But
like that
only
across
so
the
good that we can
way
get.
there. What's that?
This might be the starting point. There it is, the sign for Freedom Trail.
This is what's left of the Long family house.
Crown. Bubble drain.
Just a representative of the old house, I guess. What Chris was saying, he got on tour in Chicago. See where the door is? That used to be street level. But as they built up over time, the streets get taller and taller and taller and taller and taller. Like even that firehouse is posh, you know? I may not be the best tour guide, and I'm certainly no historian, but as I said before, I want you to see what we see. Also, too, one thing I enjoy is just being immersed in a place, just to feel the environment, see the scenery, the buildings, the trees, the streets, you know, to feel out what it feels like to be in Boston. And so that's what I show you. I'm sorry if that's boring to some, but I really like to just kind of be there. But even here, they don't have them in the main area, I don't think. In honor of the men of Charleston who fought in the War of 1861 for the preservation of the Union. After the Patriots won the battles of Lexington and Concord in April 1775, the victorious Patriot militiamen followed the retreating British Army towards Boston. They had them on the run. When they got here to Bunker Hill, it was actually this surrounding area where it took place. It was said that the Patriots lost, but the British actually lost more men than the Patriots did, but they had a bigger army. Anyway, this really stood after the Boston Massacre, the shot heard around the world, obviously. This became another battle cry here. The loss here really got some more support. The Colonial, 1,200 of them, occupied two areas, Bunker Hill and Breed's Hill. It was William Prescott that was the colonel that ran them, and most of the fighting happened at Breed's Hill. And that's where he actually said, "Don't fire, men, till you see the whites of their eyes." And that's a famous quote. And then they actually retreated here.
Boston Massacre, the Battle of Concord, and Bunker Hill. That's what really solidified all the colonies to come together to fight against the British.
Kind of like the Alamo.
Yeah.
That's what they say really started it, was the shot heard around with the Boston Massacre, right? Bunker Hill. It's a hill. First seeing a starting point at Central Park, and then Chris seeing one here, he realizes that the trail starts from many places. Boston Garden. I'd have loved to see the Celtics play there in the 80s. Old North Church. The Old North Church was known for the slogan, "One if by land and two if by sea." It was during the midnight ride of Paul Revere. Two men there went up to the top with lanterns and held the lanterns because they were trying to pass on the warning from Paul Revere in the area. This is Boston's oldest standing church. (1723).
Paul Revere never made it to Concord. There was 2 riders. I forget the other guy's name. And he's the one who made it out there to warn them that the British were coming. Paul Revere never made it.
George Robert Payne. It is Paul Revere. Chris was right. There were 2 riders, Paul Revere and William Dawes. After they made it to Boston, they set out to Concord, New Hampshire. On the way, they met a young patriot by the name of Samuel Prescott. Revere and Prescott were caught, and Dawes lost his horse, had to walk back to Lexington. But Prescott escaped, and he's the one that made the ride all the way to Concord, New Hampshire. Here we are passing Paul Revere House, not even noticing it. You see that line in the middle? That's the Freedom Trail.
This is the next one.
We're on the north end, Boston. What I always say about scooters, Vespa like I had, you park them anywhere. Nobody cares. Nobody takes scooters seriously. You just pull it right up on the curb. See? Park it wherever you want. Yeah, just the whole cityscape right here. One of the cool things about Boston is there's just trees and greenery everywhere. There's just all these little places you can just kind of hop a squat all over the city. Trees, trees. Now, in some streets don't have them, but they try to put some plants out at least. Back of the Green Dragon. The Green Dragon. This is the inside of the Green Dragon. As you remember, this is where they got drunk and went and threw the tea in the harbor. Cool example of pewter mugs here. They were playing Maggie May, so I had to cut out the sound.
Quacka.
Well, we're in the Green Dragon. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Crackers for the crackers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And so, in the South, where we're from, the Mississippi lets out, and oysters about that big a piece.
I can drive.
This is a dozen oysters in New England, and I asked for crackers, and he's cool to bring them. I'm not saying that, but it's just funny here. They don't eat them with crackers, clearly.
Temporarily closed. No, what? No, is it closed?
Sam Adams Tap Room.
Hours to go sales only. What? Oh, what does that mean?
No.
We want to go sales.
COVID really sucks.
What's in there for us to buy?
Temporary closed to go service. No.
What do you want to buy?
It's closed. He wanted to see it.
So you just need to call in your order.
All the seagulls I've ever seen are white. You're pretty cool looking. Wish I had some bread for you. Guess you're a seagull. Got the feet like a seagull. Maybe someone can tell me what kind of bird that is. Sitting here with the pigeons. Sitting here with the pigeons. I've never seen a seagull look like that.
It's pretty big. You could ride it. You could actually ride it. Giddy up. It's a little marketplace. We got to make a left turn here, though. I thought it was straight ahead. That's what I thought. It's where he's popping in over, right? That's where we go.
Fresh seafood.
Red, white, and
We came through here and got a lemonade. You remember, Beth?
yeah. She did this time too.
Wasn't, but it is now.
We go this way, then we'll have to take a left here.
Yeah, but it's a more scenic walk.
Yeah. You want a pewter?
Be right back, it says. Even the back alley is good. That's pretty cool.
Ooh, a knee star Bacardi. They had a knee star. Okay.
There was a line to get in here, right? Been going for a while. This is a good cannoli shop. We finally recognized the Paul Revere house. I'm so glad we didn't miss it, but you know, COVID.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Paul Revere house.
Guys, I love it. Huh? That's cute. That's their little back patio. Oh, keyhole. That's their flat key fob.